Man, that was just horrible up there. We've seen flooding around here lately with 1, 2, even sometimes 3 inches of rain in a short span of time. They had 9 or 10 inches, and of course they're a lot more hilly, so things run off even more. Luckily today, not as bad up there, but they are still seeing some flood advisories, flood warnings, and some storminess. Around here, we're looking at some sunshine peeking through the clouds every once in a while. You can see a couple of areas of rain. We've had a few other really small showers pop up throughout the day. As I mentioned, still some of those flood warnings up there near Charlottesville. But right now, here's the storm that has begun to pop up. Well, I say storm. Live lightning isn't showing any live lightning just yet at the ground. Doesn't mean it's not aloft. In fact, with these kinds of colors, probably a pretty good chance it's developing some thunder and lightning that's up high between the clouds. Also a little bit up here closer to West Point, right there up the river and heading over into areas of King William and King and Queen County eventually. Around Norge and Croker, you can see the leading edge right here around River View Road and down a little bit southward from there. Head a little bit farther to the south. There we go. And around Mount Gold and stretching down the Chowan River here over toward Edenton, we're looking at a little bit of storminess. Another one right there around Elizabeth City. Put that one in motion and you'll see there was more out there a little bit earlier. As it has been drifting to the northeast, it has been tending to sort of hold its own or even weaken slightly and not intensify. So for this evening, 78 degrees, a few, emphasis on few, showers or storms. And I say especially south because that's where there's a little bit more of the action. Obviously, that's not the only place because north, up there north of Williamsburg, we're tracking that area as well. But in general, I think most of the action is going to tend to come up at us from North Carolina. Current temperatures, it feels like the 90s, even though it's only 88, but a ton of humidity out there. And it is actually 90 right now in Portsmouth. A little cooler in Moyock, 78 degrees with that outflow from that shower and storm. You can see, compare all these to yesterday, and we're up 4, 6, 8, 10 degrees. Temperatures then through the evening dropping back through the 80s, isolated showers or storms. And then a little bit later in the night, we're going to see action really firing up out in central Virginia. Again, unfortunate. Hopefully it can stay away from Charlottesville. But overall, as we go through the overnight into the morning, things will be dying off even more. It'll be warm, muggy, some patchy fog out there again tomorrow, and even hotter during the day tomorrow with pretty low rain chances during the day for sure. And even on into the evening, by later evening into the overnight, especially to the north, there's a chance we could see a few more isolated storms. And then the weekend's going to show some shifting and changing temperatures. Let's take a look at that. So 91 tomorrow, 87 on Saturday. You can see about 40% chance you'll get wet, mainly in the afternoon from some scattered storms. Sunday down to 80 with that same 40% risk of seeing wet weather. And then Monday, Tuesday, 80 and 78. Wednesday, Thursday, even hardly any rain chance, and we warm back up a bit.